Z here, and check your calendars. Go ahead and get yourself some nice greasy ass pizza and kiss your social life away because it's a joke. You guys don't have any social life. Come on, that's the reason why you're watching me. It's Outer Worlds release day, and boy, this is just a time where people like me, the single player driven RPG type fans here, have been waiting for quite a while, ever since Bethesda pretty much shat the bed after engorging themselves on just horrific ideas and bold-faced lies. So I'm just gonna keep this introduction really short. If you guys don't mind, I got me a game to play. Okay, come on. Hi there, Z here. Let's talk about it. Outer Worlds. Let's talk about it. I need a fucking shower or something. Good God. Outer Worlds is a RPG, action, sci-fi, fantasy game made by the same people who created Fallout New Vegas in all of its glory. You know, back before Todd Howard used the company as his own personal ego-boosting cash cow, but that's a video for another time. And this game is, in fact, a sort of time capsule to when video games didn't have an easy cash button and people had to make games on the merit of their creativity and programming skills. A sort of out-of-date nostalgic concept that has been brought back in the form of a witty, fun, shoot-'em-up, first-person, space-traveling RPG video game, and it's fucking great. Now, that being said, is it a masterpiece? I'm actually going to have to say no on that for reasons that I'll get to later on in the video, but I don't want anyone to hear that and be steered away from buying the game. This needs to happen. There needs to be more games like this. This needs to be supported so other gaming companies can say, hey, what the fuck is happening? Why aren't people buying our shitty multiplayer-only games that are poorly optimized and have more selling points than a desperate used car salesman trying to find food for the rest of the night? But these motherfuckers get fans from a single-player game and everyone's cheering them on? What's happening? Where's my money bath? And I get it. Epic bad. Yeah, I haven't heard that one before. And you guys are incorrect about that statement, okay? You know, epic evil, sure. Epic cancer, that's even a better one. Epic is the AIDS of the video game industry right next to the syphilis EA. I mean, that one's probably the best one you could think of. You gotta think of more creative ways for your insults, guys. It hurts a lot more. So, if you're gonna pick anything away from this video/review, it's a PSA to remind everyone that the game is available on the Xbox Companion app on Windows 10. Which is a pretty poorly put together excuse for a game store on its own, but hey, it's not Epic, alright? Beggars can't be fucking choosers, you know? But now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, upon opening the game, you're greeted with the main space vessel you'll be spending a good chunk of your time on, the Unreliable, and 5 simple options. New game, load game, settings, credits, and quit. No pop-ups telling you about the special on loot boxes, no alerts informing you that, hey, if you act now, you get 13% off the first half of the first season. No, it's just a simple fucking setup, and in the few seconds that you're graced with this beginning page, the anxiety of the modern gaming advertisement where they just fucking throw it at you every 2 seconds is quelled. You're feeling a little bit more confident about playing this game, and from then on, we see a cinematic trailer that pretty much encapsulates the entire game. This is Phineas Wells, a renegade scientist that breaks you out of a frozen stasis to help him overthrow a hyper-capitalized world where a handful of corporations control everything and everyone in a small sector of space. Almost all colonies found in this area are only there because the corporations put them there and they need people to buy their products and harvest materials to create said products. Pretty much the whole thing revolves around if there was no government to restrict companies, given enough time, they would turn into these massive authoritarian aristocratic societies using people as pawns to get more money and power. And in this game, the conglomeration of big businesses are called the board. Don't worry about what the companies do. Don't worry about what sets them apart from each other. Don't worry how they compete or work with each other. They don't really go too much into detail about that, so let's just move on. But yeah, that's the whole point of this sci-fi game. Phineas breaks you out and sends you on your merry way to disrupt the board's illicit acts, and through the adventures that you go through, you make friends and enemies alike in a sort of Fallout meets BioWare way. You take 2 people from your crew to join you on your quest to take down the man, and depending on who you bring, they can either bicker with each other or just talk about normal, boring human stuff, you know? Where'd you grow up? When was your first kiss? How do you skin a human? Things like that. And since this is from the same people who brought us the revered Fallout games, let's touch base on the people, since you'll spend at least half of your game talking and interacting with them. You have a pretty large cast of intergalactic civilians with different opinions, experiences, allegiances, and vendettas against a plethora of different sides. Sure, there's the main free from corporation side against the corporations are our best friend side, but within that, there are many times that you can fuck over or help a subgroup. That's what this game does best, in my opinion. You remember playing the old Bethesda games, or hell, any sort of RPG game out there, and saying to yourself, why can't I be part of that asshole bandit squad? I want to be part of the bad guy side because these good guys are giving me diabetes with how sweet and saccharine they are. Well, in this game, if the people are in conflict, you have a pretty good chance of being on their team. Corporate, cult, good guy, bandit, whatever side you feel is right, you could be the one that helps them fight for the greater good. Or if you're really careful, you can actually have both sides come together with 2 winners. The perfect example of this is the first major decision you can make in this game. By the way, spoiler alerts. Go ahead and, big boy spoiler alerts. Click this time if you don't want to see the first major mission spoiled here, okay? I'm giving you plenty of time. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so you acquire a spaceship from landing your escape pod on the previous captain of said ship, and now need a power source to start her up. You go to the first settlement you find, and after snooping around a bit and talking to the local plebs, you notice that they have a power source very similar to the one that you need. Not only do they have said power source, but a hippie commune of settlers who moved out of town because they didn't like the working conditions that was in there also have a power source very similar to what you need in a nearby greenhouse. But here's the problem. There isn't enough power for both places to function properly. So here's the rub. Should you take the power away from the evil, selfish, corporate-built township and give it to the lazy hippie whiners, or siphon the power away from the limp-wristed, green-thumbed flag burners and give it to the soulless, money-hungry fat cats? Whatever you personally feel is completely up to you, but if you are a silver-tongued, fence-sitting devil like yours truly, you could try to convince the drum circle beatniks to migrate back to the corrupt, rust-infested town as long as the incompetent mayor steps down and the queen hippie is the new leader, so everybody's happy. Except for the previous mayor, who will probably sign his resignation letter and then stab himself in the neck with the pen in the canning factory. But you can never really make everyone happy. Welcome to the real world, people. It's situations like this that open up a world of options no matter where you go, and it's something that I think this game does best. It's not giving you a side to be 100% on with no wiggle room in the middle. You can play it straight down the middle and jump from side to side whenever it sounds good to you, or you can sabotage both sides and laugh in the ashes. That's a thing to do if you're a psychopath. And if you're looking for just a fast-paced shooting game similar to, I don't know, Borderlands, then congratulations, Outer Worlds does that well enough. The fighting in this game is pretty basic with only 3 types of ammunition, light, heavy, and energy, with a good selection of guns, explosions, and melee weapons with attachable mods to keep everybody happy. You got snipers, automatic guns, grenade launchers, shrink rays, mind control beams, and everything else in between. And sure, it might not be as crazy or hectic as Borderlands, but it's enough to keep most people happy. But what about the quests? Oh, what about them quests? Is this going to be one of those kind of games where it's full of situations where you need to collect, 13 Terror Claw eyeballs to bring it back to the town witch doctor so he can make a potion to bring to the sick blacksmith so he can craft you a sword that will help you fight the homeless man who's holding the keys to a locked 97 Cadillac Seville where your baby nephew's in the back and you completely forgot that he was in there? Is it something like that? Maybe 20% of the game. Maybe 20% of the quests here. But for the most part, the quests are actually very unique and incredibly fun to go through. You can either be, infiltrating an opposition faction with a holographic design to minimize the gunfire, or you can fight your way through an abandoned space station guarded by a bunch of robots to claim it for a renegade mercenary company. I mean, sure, some of the times you'll get a quest that's like, flying all around the fucking galaxy buying stuff for a crew member to prepare her for a fucking date with her new girl crush. Oh yeah, fuck sneaking around and fighting monsters and outlaws. I want to help my crew members get laid. That's what a good captain would do. I mean, I get it. I understand why they would pepper in these boring quests around these amazing other ones here. I'm sure there are some girls who play Sims and Nintendogs who accidentally picked up this game and played it long enough to get to these quests, all 12 of them. But hey, you know what? Just blow through it. Add it to the ever-expanding list of completed side quests, collect the experience, and move forward to the quest where you get high on alien shrooms with your crewmates and talk to their dead mothers. That's the real shit that we're looking for. But if you guys haven't noticed already, I loved this game. I really did. The voice acting was really great. The quests were really fun without being too monotonous. The world is fleshed out, especially if you're like me and you kind of read every little detail that you come across. And there's creativity out the ass. In one moment you'll be talking to a ruthless bounty hunter, and the next time you're interrogating a depressed ammunitions vendor wearing a moon helmet that he can't get off. I mean, the character of this game is so entertaining, and the humorous levity that's kind of put in every so often helps alleviate that brooding, dark nature of this incredibly oppressive life that surrounds you. But if I had to think of one thing that really dragged it down for me, it's unfortunately the ending. No, not trying to spoil the entire game for those of you who want to watch the full review, but I'm going to have to drop another spoiler in here because I'm obviously going to be talking about the ending. It's an important reason about why I was kind of let down about this game, so I need to talk about it. So if you want to be a complete virgin when you play this game, make sure to go to this time code at this time, alright? I'm just going to be spitting out spoilers right now. 3, 2, 1, moving on. Now, obviously, you can either pick the corporate side or the freedom-loving side, right? And me being a proud American, rock flag and eagle, I obviously went the free route, which meant that I needed to break into this impregnable prison to get the recently captured Phineas out before they execute him. And before this, the game was ramping everything up. I wanted to go into this quest. It asked me if I wanted to talk to my crew before I started it, if I wanted to finish any current quests that I was on, and for me to save the game just to be sure I wanted to do this. So me being a pro gamer, I kind of knew that this was the end of my action-packed adventure, and boy was I fucking ready. I was ready to fight about a 50-foot robot with hundreds of corporate men blocking my way and shooting at me, and maybe each of the CEOs from each of the corporations was going to come by and try to stop me in some unique and interesting battle, and that I would need to defeat them using my brains and my bullets, and after all of that, I would save Phineas and blast off into space ready for another expansion pack, or hell, even Outer Worlds 2 to complete our adventure. Now, did I get that? Not exactly, no. I mean, you had to break in, sure, and there were soldiers that were trying to stop you, but every single time I would encounter a group of enemies, people that I helped previously in the game would kind of show up and do the killing for me. Like, I would still be able to kill. I would get 2, 3, maybe 4 if I was lucky, but then I would kind of be brushed to the spawn point where I would encounter more enemies, and then a completely different faction would come over and try to help me. I mean, I'm not quite sure how all these people knew Now thinking back to it, that I was breaking into this massive prison because I only told my crew and nobody else. But I don't know, maybe I missed something. Maybe I'll just subdue my belief. It really doesn't matter. But I still got that boss battle to do. Okay, where's that giant robot?
System searching.
That's not really what I had in mind. You know, a 12-foot robot is, I guess, better than no robot whatsoever. Wasn't really the 50-foot one that would be hurling pallets at me that I was kind of expecting in my head. But hey, no worry about it. It still may be tough. I took it out in 3 minutes. So that's what I did. That's what I did. But hey, I still have the main villainess to kill me, okay? I still have to fight her, and she has to fight me. Oh man, I wonder where she'll be, and I wonder if it's like a mech suit like Ellen Ripley in Alien. Oh boy, that would be... Oh, that was it. Yeah, she had a gun, a pistol, nonetheless, and I had a flamethrower that I modded out up the yin-yang, and I guess I won. Yay for me. This whole thing seems to be less of a final battle and more of a Disney ride where the cart goes 5 miles per hour while you're watching an ancient, nearly broken down animatronics act out their scenes. And to wrap up the entire game, to wrap up everything, there's nothing afterwards. Nope. Phineas, as soon as you say Phineas, he comes out and says something along the lines of, "Oh, we haven't heard from Earth from years, so now we're free from corporations completely. We still have a lot of work to do and a lot of rebuilding of the world, and we have to fight a lot more people to get peace. Let's figure this out, Zach." Cut to multiple slideshows about what happened to your entire crew, with Phineas dying soon after being rescued and no one knowing what happened to Earth, okay? I mean, okay, you didn't really give me an epic ending fight, you know, you didn't really show the bigwigs of the company coming out and fighting, you know, just the second in command who I murdered in 2 seconds, and the question that I had from the very beginning, what the fuck happened to Earth, was only hinted at in some of the documents that I found, but nothing after that. And now my crew that I actually grew to care about gets a paragraph and a half of what happened to them a la late 90s post-credit teen movie slideshows, and boom, it's done. Credits are right there, and I'm left with a soft dick and confusion frozen on my face. It's hard to quantify how much I should care about the ending of this game, especially with how amazing it was before this. This was a fantastic game with great writing, an interesting plot, fun dynamic shooting, and just a blast to play. But the ending of any media is arguably probably the most important part of the entire medium. Who gives a fuck about all the tension, the world building, and all the people that you started to care about if the game ends with a wet fart on a It's a Small World ride? And yeah, I'm aware the Fallout games are well known for having these types of endings, where you just get someone to narrate what happens instead of leaving the fate of the people you interacted with covered with unambiguousness. But this was a new title! I was hoping for something more of a fireworks show and not me and my brothers retardedly shooting Roman candles at each other. And to accompany that, to anyone who's looking for a game that's like Skyrim, that's 20, 30, 40 hours long on your first run through, you might be a little bit disappointed. I did about 50 side quests along with the main quest, and I got about 16 hours to finish the entire game. Some may say that's good enough, and you know what? I can see myself in that camp. I could take 16 hours, especially since I can replay the game and be on the corporate shill side next time and have a completely different story. But to those of you who just want a one good, extremely long game, just might not be for you. And it's for reasons like I've mentioned that I just can't say this is a perfect game. It's no masterpiece. You know, gameplay, great. Dialogue, fantastic. Decision making, in-depth, and probably the best thing about this game. But the ending just dropped it all for me and left me more disheartened than amazed. Obsidian, You made a great game, and it was refreshing to play. I was so engrossed in this game, I played it for 12 hours the first day I got it. I took off half a day of work just to play this game. And guess what? It didn't feel like 12 hours. I have not been able to play a game that blew through time like this since I was fucking young. There have been some games that have been close, you know. There have been like the last Wolfenstein game was probably the closest single player experience. And not Youngblood, not Young Fuck. Don't bring up Young fucking Blood to me. Don't say that in my house, okay? That's not a Wolfenstein game. That's a fan fiction art in a game form, okay? No. It's like a fucking 13-year-old got the script to it and then touched it up with a 9-year-old. Again, another video for another time here. Anyways, thank you very much for your time and effort, Obsidian. Thank you very much. You guys put a lot of time into this game, and I suggest absolutely anyone to give it a shot. Not on Epic, not on Epic, not on Epic. I'm gonna say it one more time, not on Epic. Get it on a fucking console, wait for it to come out on Steam in a year, or play it on the Xbox Companion. Don't fucking touch Epic. Don't do it. 9 out of 10 for those of you looking for a score. I hope you enjoyed this video, and cheers.